Hello everybody. Let's in the beginning have an idea about gifted children, students. Who is gifted students and what are their characteristics? First of all, what is the definition of giftedness? Joseph Renzels, 1978, have a definition. He called it three-ring definition of giftedness. Is one frequently mentioned conceptualization of giftedness. Renzels' definition, which defines gifted behaviors rather than gifted individuals, is composed of three components as follows. Gifted behavior consists of behaviors that reflect an interaction among three basic clusters of human traits: above average ability, high level of task commitment, and high level of creativity. Individuals capable of developing gifted behavior are those possessing or capable of developing this composite set of traits and applying them to any potentially valuable area of human performance. Persons who manifest or are capable of developing an interaction among the three clusters require a wide variety of educational opportunities and services that are not ordinarily provided through regular instructional programs. Simply, the term gifted and talented, when used in respect to students, children, or youth, means students, children, or youth who give evidence of high performance capability in areas such as intellectual, creative, artistic, or leadership capacity, or in specific academic fields, and who require service or activities not ordinarily provided by the school in order to fully develop such capabilities. In addition to that, also gifted or talented students means students who performs at or shows the potential for performing at a remarkably high level of accomplishment when compared to others of the same age, experience, or environment. What are the characteristics of gifted students? Generally, gifted students or advanced students learn more quickly, deeply, and broadly than their peers. They may learn to read early and progress at the same level as normal children who are significantly older. Gifted students also tend to demonstrate high reasoning ability, creativity, curiosity, a large vocabulary, and an excellent memory. They can often master concepts with few repetitions. They may also be perfectionistic and frequently question authority. Some have trouble relating to or communicating with their peers because of disparities in vocabulary size, especially in the early years. Personality, interest, and motivation. As children, they may prefer the company of older children or adults. Giftedness is frequently not evenly distributed throughout all intellectual spheres. One gifted student may excel in solving logic problems yet be a poor speller. Another may be able to read and write at a far above average level yet have trouble with mathematics. In easy words, they have strong areas and weak areas. It is possible that three are different types of giftedness with their own unique features, just as three are different types of developmental delay. Giftedness may become noticeable in individuals at different points of development, while early development, speaking or reading at a very young age, usually comes with giftedness. It is not a determinant of giftedness.
Thank you, Mr. Fahd. So, let us talk about gifted and if should be separated or not. Firstly, gifted need to be identified by an expert, and our schools cannot do that.
She realized that João Paulo was specially gifted when he hacked into the school's computer system.
He has above-average abilities and gets frustrated at school, sees it with dissatisfaction, contempt and disdain. So we have to tackle that negative idea and try to improve his image of school and teachers, thinking about how this can work out for the future.
Marcela is an expert on gifted children and thinks that early identification is key to avoiding problems. Every Saturday.
So, one of the characteristics that gifted have is early reading and language development. So, if gifted get these skills, they must not be at the same level with who don't have. It is boring for gifted to be there. They are gifted, they are special, they need special schools that can raise and keep their abilities. And also they have an excellent memory. So this is an important point that we need to stop here and think about. Regular students fight together, swear together, do crazy things, then they forget and play again. But gifted have different case. I think they have private thinking about playing and joking. They can't allow to others play with them by the same way. Mostly they will be angry, depressed, withdrawn, and no one will understand them. They live in a closed circle without any solution. So they have a special classification, but in the wrong place. And also they have exceptional thinking skills and problem-solving abilities. Especially this point needs special schools with expert teachers. Gifted children are worthy and they deserve a sufficient care from the government and society. Public schools are the worst place for them. Schools in these days cannot raise or take care the minimum of their interests. Simply principal and teachers need many years to understand what they have because they aren't specialists. And about the passion of learning, think with me about this point. So teachers in elementary schools try to give the students the principles of learning, and some students understand and others not. On the second hand, there is a gifted student who has a passion of learning, and he's just sitting beside others that need to get the principles, and some of them don't want to learn. So it's completely crazy idea. We should separate gifted and educate them in convenient places, attractive environments, and with their peers. So now let us talk about something about the curiosity. So public schools will kill the curiosity of these children. So absolutely, public schools, especially in some countries, have nothing to provide to students who are gifted. And I have also something here to show you.
Please don't make me go. You can keep homeschooling me.
Tell you everything I know. No more argument, okay? We've discussed this ad nauseum.
What's ad nauseum?
You don't know? Wow, looks like someone needs school.
Good morning, Miss Stevenson.
Who can tell me what 3 plus 3 is?
Everyone knows it's 6.
Barry, can you stand up, please? Can you tell me what 57 multiplied by 135 is? Okay.
7,695. The square root is 87.7 and change. Now what does ad nauseum mean?
So here's the problem. I think some teachers will feel gifted children challenge them because they don't know their characteristics, or maybe they can't control their behaviors. So this is maybe the trouble. And I don't want to forget that regular students will drive gifted children to crazy. If gifted have unusual alertness, so they can't be together. Usually regular students have extremely annoying, and definitely gifted will be nervous and hostile.
When he was 4, types up multiplication. By the time he was 6, he knew more about astronomy than I will ever know. Great, right? But at the same time, he couldn't stand to wear hats on his head, and he couldn't stand to be in loud noises, and he couldn't stand to go outside because the wind on his face was too much. I thought it was kind of funny, but didn't know what else to do about it, didn't know what to do about it until we started having a lot of problems at school.
So finally, I'm browsing some websites now, and I can show you some people that share me their opinion. So they have the same opinion that I have now. So for example, I can show you this one. This man says, we need separate schools. It's just important that children are willing and able to learn well. So okay. Also here, separation increases learning. I can observe that students work within our group. The smarter kids hang out while the slower learning catch each other up. Okay. And also, yes, we should have a separate building, and advanced students should have separate schools because they learn at a different pace. So because that I can tell you that we should separate gifted children and send them for special programs in special schools. Thank you so much.
First, I would like to talk about the cues. The cues here stand for the score that a child who is gifted or which is given to a child to test him, and from the result they will identify him as gifted or not. Here it stands for quotient. IQ here is the intellectual intelligence of the child, so it shows how does he think. As for emotional intelligence, which is EQ, it shows that how does he feel. This concept is it was brought up by Daniel Goleman in 1990, and CQ here stands for spiritual intelligence, which is also brought up by Dana Zohar in 1997 to indicate spiritual parallel with IQ and EQ. Now, from this concept, we have more than the 3 Qs. Actually, we have PQ, which is physical intelligence. So if we look at the other signs of it, it's the performance and growth and also the balance of the child. So we have IQ as in the logic and reasons that he can think of, and the feelings and emotions that he can present or show us. Then we have the meaning and the purpose of things that he can think of. Then we have the strength and stamina. Now, IQ intelligence is not the only figure of identifying giftedness. Scholars believe that if a child has increased emotional or social intelligence, then these are signs of also giftedness. So it's supposed to be taken into consideration. So we are supposed to try to separate between the academic and social and emotional intelligence for each child to figure out. So maybe a child who is actually gifted can have high scores in his academic studies, but he cannot actually keep a relationship as socially or emotionally. And on the other side, maybe we have a student who is actually gifted and he can emotionally and socially involve with other students and keep up with the social development. However, the argument here is supposed to be we are supposed to nurture the cognitive system and the emotional system. Now I'll give examples of gifted individuals. Here we have Juan Paulo, who is 17 years old. He has been expelled twice from school because he failed to get along with his teachers. The reason is that he actually does not do what he is asked, so he refused to do it, and he talks all the time, trying to push the teachers to their limits. Juan actually has been identified as special gifted after hacking into the school's computer system. Another situation here, we have Diego. Diego is told by the teacher that he is the brightest in class. So as a result from that, the teacher actually gives him homework which is higher from his level for the year above, and every year he's actually having the same thing, harder work than the others. So he feels that he is actually working harder than the other students. Here we have the teacher, who is Marcella, who is an expert in gifted children, thinks that early identification is the key to solve problems. One of the things she is doing is that she is going to every Saturday to this different Saturdays programs to help by coordinating activities for gifted children from 7 to 10. While another coordinator, who is Helena, she is thinking of that, or she says that these students, because they are very intelligent, they are thirsty to knowledge and they learn quicker than their peers, which makes them very hard, which makes it very hard for the teachers to understand this. So we are supposed to develop the tolerance and understanding of the teachers to know that these children's rhythm and understanding is completely different than the other students. So they try to tackle them with challenges to keep the students from making problems and trying not to get them expelled from school. And here we have another example, which is Maryam Mirzakhani. She is an Iranian mathematics who actually won the first. She was the first woman to win the Nobel Prize of Mathematics in 2014. She started winning golden medals in her teens, and she was also a standard university professor since the age of 31. The interesting thing is that she was interested in reading novels at the beginning, in a way that she will put her hand on any novel she and her friend just to read. One day her elder brother told her about what he had learned when he shared with her a famous math problem from a magazine that fascinated her, and from that day she was interested in mathematics. Then we have two other gifted children who are Akash and Tanish. Both of them are homeschooled. Akash was fascinated with the alphabets from a very young age, so he started playing with magnetic letters and tried to put them in the alphabetical order on the fridge. At the age of 1.5, his uncle gave him a spoon and he spelled the word spoon, and he also figured out how to put the words, informing them with the alphabets at the age of 2 years and 3 months, and began learning three words, 3 letters, 3 words. Anyway, he participated in the National Spelling Bee competition at the age of 6, while Tanishq was at the age of 8. He attended college classes, and he also likes practical physics, all the anti-material matter, the fate of the universe. The thing is about Tanishq is that he jumped from kindergarten to 3rd grade because he was very smart, and in the public school system he had a lot of problems because he didn't have that challenge that he is supposed to have because of his intelligence. So he found that it's easy and he got bored. So his parents decided to homeschool him. This kind of method actually of teaching may the child face like social or emotionally, because they won't be able to play games like when you are with grown-ups. You cannot just play, it's only talks. And finally, I would like you to think of bright and gifted. So what does it mean if you hear a bright student, and what does it mean if you hear a gifted student? Before I play the short video, well, I would like you to think about it, and after that the video will actually gives us an example of the personality, learning style, and behavioral trait. Here's the video.
Meet brothers Ethan and Jake, two very smart but very different kids. Jake has many friends and loves being with them. Ethan has has few friends and prefers to spend time with older children or adults. Jake has great marks. He's always the first to answer the teacher's questions. Ethan's marks are not so great. He knows the answers, but always second-guesses himself. Jake studies hard and listens attentively. Ethan daydreams or goofs around in class. Jake has good practical ideas. Ethan often has wild or silly ideas. Jake really enjoys school. Ethan is bored at school and enjoys learning on his own. One of the boys is gifted. Can you guess which one it is? It turns out that it is Ethan. Luckily, he was placed in a gifted program where his mind is challenged and he is no longer bored. When the brothers grow up, Ethan will be a well-known inventor designing flying cars. And Jake will be helping his brother to bring his ideas to life. Do you think your child is gifted? Try this free online test.
In conclusion, gifted students are those who have above average ability than the others. They perform remarkably with high level of accomplishment. Gifted students not necessary to be successful in study, as we know many stories for students who already identified as gifted students, even though they were failed in school courses or even expelled from the schools. In many countries within their education system, they prefer to separate those gifted students in order to improve their skills and push the boundaries with special courses for them. They need a convenient environment because they are totally different from the non-gifted students for many reasons, such as excellent memory, exceptional thinking, multiple interests, passion of learning, and curiosity.